Hi, I'm Weston. I love talking about the Astros, and I'm here to talk about Game 38 of the regular season. Astros win 4-3 in the 11th. Man, oh man, this was a bit of a nerve-wracking game, but it was a pretty darn good one to start the Silver Boot series. So to get right into it, Cristian Javier gets the start for the Astros, and he looked shaky for the first couple of innings. In the first, he would give up a Willie Calhoun home run to make it a 2-1 ball game. In the second, he would get into some more trouble. Garcia would single, David Dahl would walk, which now that's not great, and then Isaac Kiner-Falefa would also walk. So now he got bases loaded, no outs. And at this moment, I thought the game was going to get real ugly real quick. Now, he got out of it pretty scot-free almost. I mean, given what it could have been, I think he got out of it as well as you could have hoped. Culberson would strike out, Jose Trevino would sac fly out to make it a 2-0 ball game, and then Calhoun would ground out. So it could have been a absolute dominant inning for them, turned into just a one run off of a sac fly inning, which was a miracle at the point we were at. And then in the bottom half of the second, the Astros would get 3 runs to go up by a run. Starting Kyle Tucker would single, Diaz would single, Straw would do a sac bunt to move them to second and third with 1 out, which, cool. Then Castro would walk. That's not the only time he would do that tonight. And Jose Altuve would double to make it a 3-2 ball game in favor of the Astros. And then after that, Michael Brantley would ground into a double play, which wasn't great. In the third, Nick Solak would single. He would then get to second on a wild pitch. A Lau groundout would move him to third. And a Gallo groundout would make it 3-3, with then Garcia grounding out to end the third. And that was it for a while. The Astros in the 7th would remove Cristian Javier. In the 8th, we would bring in Stanek. In the 9th, we'd bring in Presley. In the 11th, we would bring in Abreu. And then in the 10th, we would bring in Abreu. And in the 11th, we brought in Raley. And Raley got into some trouble in the 11th. There would be runners at the corners with no outs to start it after a walk. But Gallo would strike out, Garcia would fly out, and Dahl would strike out to end the top of the 11th. And then the bottom half of the 11th came where the Astros would get their run to win it. Straw would start on second base because of the stupid rule that I hate with passion. I hate this rule. Please, for the love of God, get rid of it. It's the worst. Castro would sac bunt to move him over to a third. Altuve would be intentionally walked. Brantley would strike out, which is sort of unusual for Michael Brantley. Bregman would be intentionally walked. Bases loaded now for, of all people, to have a walk-off opportunity, Chas McCormick, which we already had one sort of unlikely walk-off in extras by a player, so why not Chas McCormick? And he kind of did. It wasn't really him, though. Straw on third and a wild pitch that really got away from the catcher, and there's no chance. Straw is too fast to not score on this. He would slide home. Exciting play at the plate, and it's safe. The Astros would win on a wild pitch, which we are sort of the factory of weird walk-off wins. This is just another to add to it. That would make it 4-3. And a 11th inning win for the Astros. We had really bad luck with the extra inning rule and the extra innings last year. We were well below 500, and we are 2-0 so far this year. Granted, a stressful 2-0, but 2-0 nonetheless. So the pitching lines. Cristian Javier would go 7 innings of work, 4 hits, 3 runs, 2 walks, and 6 strikeouts. Again, a bit of a rough start for him, but I thought he had a pretty darn good night. Ryan Stanek would have 1 inning of work with 2 walks and 2 strikeouts. Presley would have no hits, no runs, no walks, and a strikeout in his inning. Brian Abreu would have 1 inning of work, 1 walk, and a strikeout. And Brooks Raley would come in and give up a walk, but a dicey one, and 2 strikeouts in his inning. So, my final thoughts, again, Cristian Javier, bit of a not great start, but I thought he really locked it down after the 3rd inning, which was, great for him. And the 3rd inning, that wasn't even like a, super offensive inning that got them the run. It was basically a single that a wild pitch and then a couple of groundouts got him to score. So it was much less. It wasn't bad pitching. It was just the fundamentals of how baseball works and how groundouts work that really got them the run there. But it wasn't bad. I thought he had a pretty darn good night. Again, shaky first couple of innings, but really got good after that and locked it out. And the Ryans, Stanek and Presley, are an elite tandem out of the back end of that bullpen, man. They are lockdown pitchers, which is what you love to see. I was concerned about the back half, but it seemingly has been incredible. Side note, Enoli Paredes has been working in minor leagues on assignment for the Hooks, or it might be the Skeeters, but I think it's the Hooks that he's currently for. And he's been fantastic. I believe it's 5 innings of work, no runs, 1 walk, and 9 strikeouts. So he has been on fire in the minors so far, which is very exciting. Hopefully he'll be back soon. I also believe Jaco DeRizzi is on assignment, so he'll have a start in the next few days. Hopefully he only needs 1 or 2 down there before he can come back up, because we are very thin there on starting pitching staff. And on the pitching staff as well, Abreu and Rayleigh had pretty nice innings. No runs, which is happy, especially since they both started with runners on second, which is, a stupid rule. MLB, I hate that with passion. Please get rid of it. And for the offense, Altuve led the charge. He had all 3 of our RBIs, 2 for 5 with a walk, so that's pretty nice for him. Yordan Alvarez had a pair of hits to really just... Yordan Alvarez, man, hitting machine this season. It's fantastic. And Jason Castro had a very nice night. 1 for 2 with 2 walks and the sac bunt, excuse me. He would also have a run, and his on-base percentage now gets raised to .388 on the year, which is second on the team, only behind Yuli Gurriel. Side note, Yuli should be fine. It seems like it's just an upset stomach. Hopefully he'll be back tomorrow, but he was on the bench tonight, so it's not a COVID thing. They would not allow him there, obviously, if it was, so it should just be butterflies or just something, like a normal stomach ache. But Jason Castro, man, .388 on base. Slugging percentage is better than much of the team, actually. Not slugging percentage, but the OB, or the on-base plus slugging, is better than, I think it's better than Brantley, Altuve. I think the only people that it's not better than is Bregman, Yordan, and Yuli. But it's better than most of the team. And I gotta ask, how can you not let this guy be the starting catcher? How can you not at least let him be tandem? I don't understand why we aren't at least having them be every other day guys. I would disagree with it, even if it was just... I disagree with him not being the starter and getting, 3 out of every 5. But how can you not even split these? It's absurd how... He's fantastic this season. He has a 130 OPS plus, and that's not counting tonight. So that's a 130 OPS plus with the on-base at 356. Tonight it raised it to 388, so it's probably going to be closer to 140 this season. And you might say, well, Weston, you don't know that would translate over a full, season. You don't know that if he was made the starter, he would keep those numbers. And I would say, yeah, I don't know that, but I want to make him the starter so we can figure that out together. And if those numbers do keep up, then you might have an all-star catcher on your hands. This is fantastic. And I don't understand why Dusty won't at least split the time between the two of them. It's driving me insane. You gotta start splitting the time. I'm sorry. It really bugs me. He's been fantastic offensively this year. And for reference, I think Maldonado's OPS plus is a 21. It's real bad. And I'm not trying to crap on Maldonado. I like him. But, man, Castro needs to be the starter. So that was it for the game. A nice, stressful game, but pretty entertaining overall for the first game of the Silver Boot Series. We play them again tomorrow at 8:10 Eastern, 7:10 Central. Greinke will be on the mound for us versus Benjamin. Greinke rolls in with a rather inflated 4.23 ERA, and Benjamin rolls in with a 4.76, so a bit worse. Hopefully that'll be another entertaining game. Hopefully the Astros can get another win. And now with this win and an Oakland loss tonight, we now are 1.5 games back for the division lead, and at 21-17. So it's nice to see this finally starting to get near that 500 again, or above 500. So hopefully we can get another couple of wins and maybe take over the lead in the next few days. That'd be great. So that is all I have to say for tonight. Thank you all so very much for watching. I hope you all have an absolutely fantastic day. And as always, go Astros.